Okay, so now with the mapping in mind, this really helped us look at our interventions and hit the ground running from start to finish with a blueprint. So we could follow this breadcrumb trail of our interventions from the beginning to the end, and we could look at some of the in-between decisionary points so that we could really affect change, to maximize our efforts. So, keeping that in mind, our first map, we're talking about 4 policy indicators. As you see right up here, we have the health hazards. We have the policy decision makers, and the resource allocations go in tandem, because we realize in public health, you usually have policy, you have resources. So we were to be able to affect change, we had to be strategic about this and look at some of the decisionary points so that we could really have the most maximum impact. So the 4th item we have is a communication outlet, and that's really a good lead-in to our next map, where we have our cloud informational hub. That's where we're pushing the envelope on technology with the cloud, which we'll go to in a minute, with handheld devices, smartphones, to really manage the data and do some of our communication outreach. We use meetings, we did blogs, we did emails, we were on Facebook, really to target our primary and secondary audiences, to really message our customers, so to speak. We were looking at sort of the relevant information to be provided and how timely, and how to really disseminate this in the various communication platforms in our next slide. So that was our communication map. And then the third one is, where we're really reaching out to our stakeholders from the communication efforts from the previous map, really looking at the milestones, looking at the tasks that were involved. For example, our safe water. When did the city come and give us salt tablets so that we can drink this? Or when they were coming out, so we could check off this milestone, when they were going to flush out our water pipe so that we could bathe, we could drink, we could either wash our clothes in this stuff. So you can imagine, very problematic. We're also looking at the level of collaborators and who are the primary players to really help us move our agenda forward. Okay, so now we have our communication platforms. We use a myriad of communication innovation to really rile the troops, rile our stakeholders, and to change. Best of all, most of these were free. So turn your attention to one of our first interventions that we were able to work with one of our previous city commissioners to light a fire. We started a Dirty Water campaign blog because our city commissioner was missing in action. So we wrote these blogs and graphically showing this stuff that we had to deal with, these health hazards, so that you could not ignore it. We did this in tandem with phone calls and emails to really push our agenda front and center for action for the city elected officials and our commissioners to change out our water. That happened in 2008. That was one of our first victories. So now the second intervention is our special events permitting, and we use social media and the website. And can I get a show of hands of who's had their driveway blocked or had wine bottles in your sidewalks, or people speeding through with loud music? Well, who knows? I could have been that person 20 years ago, but hopefully not now. So what we were trying to do is we formed a Midtown Alliance. It was really a cross-stitch of diverse neighborhoods that were meeting once a month to map out our plan to talk about these problems and these activities in our neighborhoods. We developed agendas, we did Facebook invites, we posted updates on the web. So we were effectively able to corral our Mayor Kasim Reed back in last year, October 2010, is that right? No, 10-11, I missed a year. Okay, and we had him facilitate a forum at one of our local middle schools. And so what you had is, from the top down, the mayor and from the groundswell, the grassroots, meeting in a happy medium to really vet out, okay, little glitch, okay, so you saw some of our slides, okay, you're ahead of us. So what we had is a groundswell, and from the top up, to really vet out an open and transparent policy on who's approving these activities at the city level, and also who's enforcing them. We're not against having activities in our neighborhood, we just want to be public health friendly minded. Okay, so now we're at our third intervention, our sanitation trash pickup, and this is about the cloud. So I know you came here to hear about this technology that we're kind of pushing an envelope on to really integrate it into our campaign, to really rile our troops, our stakeholders, to speak with one word. And so a little bit about the cloud, and we used Amazon, which gives you 8 gigabytes free. Let me back up, I'm sorry, not Amazon, it's Microsoft Live. And it gave us 8 gigabytes free of memory that we could load up information. And so just think of it this way, that say for your example, your attic, you need extra storage space. So we needed extra data warehouse space. So we wanted to really upload information, our trash pickup, our trash pictures, our logs, our activities, our conference meeting minutes. So we had it on our little smartphone, and we loaded it up to the cloud, which was really one big mainframe server. We didn't use Facebook, we did not use blogs, we didn't really go do other listservs, but we had this really one central place. I could tell you, Tim would love to be on an island, wearing sunblock of course, drinking clean water, and beaming up all this information in a virtual reality, and with one broad scoop have the city pick up our trash. But no, that did not happen. We were rolling up our sleeves, hammering out these activities and these issues with our elected officials and our bureau department head at City Hall. That's what we were doing. And we were piggybacking this latest innovation and downloading this information, pictures, logs, meeting minutes, to really craft our messages and target our audience for change. We had our trash about half the time not being picked up here on the streets of Atlanta. That's some health hazards. As you can see, there's a little rodent. It's our little happy Austin rodent in our neighborhood. Austin loves cheese, but also loves 2 weeks old trash. It's a smorgasbord for Austin. So that's really problematic. So I'm happy to report that we were able to get our trash picked up, and we were having some flare-ups. Matter of fact, I had to call the city commissioner today. But this tandem, 1-2 punch, really helped us move our agenda. I would like to say the gold standard is still the meeting and greeting and the traditional brick and mortar place. Nothing can replace a smile, a handshake, and getting your message across. But if you piggyback that on with some technology to keep you organized, you can really message and get your message across more clearly and more relevant. So we're happy to report that our trash is starting to be picked up in a more timely manner. Okay. So our next outreach efforts was really, we stumbled upon this, is our employee newsletter. And it was a hidden marketing treasure. And best of all, it was free. It didn't cost us a penny. Excuse me, your colleagues that you work with 8 to 10 hours a day, it's no better way to really spread your word. They can be your champions, they can be your messengers. And who knew Susie, 8 cubicles down, lived in Tim's neighborhood, knocked on my little cubicle door and said, "Tim, gosh, I got trash in my street, and I have rats in my attic." Well, Susie, I can double up, I can pair up, and we can leverage our messaging to the city, but I can't help you with your rats. But maybe the root cause is the trash and the health hazards. So this is very effective. Okay, so now our journey stops at YouTube. And in addition to all this innovation of the cloud, handheld devices, the blog, traditional meeting and greeting, we also use YouTube. We also use that in conjunction with filing claims with the City of Atlanta, and I'll show you this, how we effectively moved our agenda in a game changer with filing claims. Okay, so let's see if we can try to get this.
We will not be paying the damages that you see in your claim. We are not accepting liability for this particular issue. We will receive an official notification from the municipal clerk's office.
Okay, cut it. Can you cut that?